Hi guys, and welcome back to class. Today, you guys are going to use your last night's homework and you're going to write your evidence that you identified inside of the Schoology chat or discussion board that you will find inside of Schoology. Make sure you look at some of your classmates' work as well once you have posted your evidence that you found from last night's homework, and comment on someone else's evidence, what you liked about their evidence, and how you think their evidence works. To begin today's lesson, I want us to ask ourselves a question. Which pieces of evidence are the strongest evidence to support Jojo Moya's claim about love? So in this lesson, you will evaluate Helen Fisher's claim about love in her article. But as with Moya's claim, you're going to continue to focus on evidence as you evaluate arguments. And the reason why we're asking this question, guys, is because sometimes there are bunches of pieces of evidence that can support your claim. But you want to make sure that you pick the most strongest piece of evidence that is going to make your reader or your listener, whoever's listening to your claim, believe you the most. So you want to pick the strongest piece of evidence that relates back to your claim. For today's lesson, our focusing question is what defines the experience of love? And our content framing question in our distill stage says, what's the central message of In the Brain, romantic love is basically an addiction? So if we look here at central message, that is extremely important because we're looking for basically the main idea. What is the central message that we need to take away from this article once we read it? But to start, we're going to start off with handout 9A, our fluent reading. We've done this before, and I want you guys to either read to a friend or a family member for those of you who are at home, or you can practice in the mirror and demonstrate your mastery of fluent reading skills, including appropriate pace, tone, expression, emotion, and attention to the words and punctuation. So if you see an exclamation point, you need to read that with expression, with feeling. If you see a period, you need to stop and then move on to the next sentence. Make sure that you're reading with appropriate pace and tone. Now on to Helen Fisher's article. Now, Helen Fisher's article is an argument, and although it's not structured in the same way, you will write your own arguments in this model, but you're going to use our CRE stage, or our CRE structure. We've talked about this before. We had this in one of our other lessons prior. Now, Fisher does not make use of all these components from CRE in her writing, but she does have some of them. So what I want us to do is look at handout 15A, and here you're going to see a graphic organizer. It's called an argument outline. Here you're going to see a hook, claim, the reasons, and evidence. What I want you to do is read a love addiction article by Helen Fisher, and I want you to break apart that article into the boxes that are inside of handout 15A. So for example, the first paragraph of In the Brain, romantic love is basically an addiction starts off with what? And you would look at your outline and you would place it in the appropriate box where it goes. Now I want us to ask ourselves a question, because by now you should have been able to fill out the first box. What is the effect of Helen Fisher's use of the quote from Albert Einstein? What did you notice about the reasons in Helen Fisher's article or in her argument? Now we're going to go back and look at a painting that we've looked at before. And this is going to be our birthday painting. You're going to find this painting once again inside of Schoology. I'll upload the link for you all. And you're going to ask yourselves, what is the essential meaning of birthday? So in other words, what's the purpose of this painting? I want you guys to use these sentence stems to help you figure out what the essential meaning of the article is. Now, in our life, there is a single color, as on an artist's palette, which provides the meaning of the life in art. It's the color of love. What do the painting and this quotation convey about love? So how does the painting and this quote relate? How do they go together? And remember, once again, the painting is going to be uploaded inside of Schoology for you all to look at. Now you guys are going to be completing 15A, and once you've done that, you're going to create or complete a quick response or a quick write. Let's look at the following prompt. You are a prominent psychologist on the board of a Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM. It is time to update the DSM, and the vote to include love as an addiction is split 4-4. You are the deciding vote, so you're going to get to choose whether this goes from a 5-4 or a 4-5. Explain why you, or whether you agree or disagree with Fisher's claim. Why or why not? Based on your answers, which side would you vote with? To end this lesson, in our content framing question in our distill stage, it says, what's the central message of In the Brain? Romantic love is basically an addiction. For tonight's homework, you're going to complete handout 15A, and you're going to reread your notes from the article so that you can prepare for your focusing question task in the following lesson. Now on to our vocabulary deep dive. Let's look at the second paragraph in Helen Fisher's article, and I want you to underline the word obsession. Now I want you to circle any context clues that can help you figure out what the word obsession means. For those of you who are at home, you can just type the words that help you figure out what the word obsession means inside of the chat or inside of the discussion board. Now I want you guys to look at handout 12A, and I want you to review it so that you can remember what the word besote means. It means to confuse or make act like a fool, often used reflectively. To confuse or make act like a fool. Based on the definition of besote and the context of the sentence, what is the definition and the part of speech of besotted? Besotted is an adjective, and it means strongly infatuated with or completely in love with someone or something and always thinking of them. Infatuated means having a strong, irrational attraction to someone or something, so it is not synonymous with love. That means that besotted is definitely about love, but you can be infatuated with anything. You can have a strong attraction to pizza. But the first definition is strictly about love. Based on your observations of besote and besotted, what can you infer about the meaning of the part of speech of obsessed? If besotted is an adjective and it ends in ed, what is the part of speech of obsessed? Now we've done this before. We're going to complete a Freyer model for the word obsessed. For your exit ticket, I want you to choose one of the two sentences to complete the phrase. He was so besotted or obsessed with fame, he lost track of his friends and family. The young, besotted or obsessed girl followed him around like a lovesick puppy. I want you to write the word that best completes each sentence and respond to the following question. Which word has a more positive connotation and why? We've talked about connotations before, so review your notes if you've forgotten. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's lesson. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.